The clock blinked 2:43 a.m. in dim, red numbers. Sam lay wide awake in bed, staring at the ceiling. The soft hum of the refrigerator in the kitchen was the only sound breaking the silence of the apartment. His phone sat on the nightstand, face down, hiding a message he had typed hours ago but never sent. It had been 6 months since Mia walked out the door. 6 months since that night when words flew faster than either of them could catch. 6 months since silence became their new language. Sam had replayed that night like a movie scene stuck on loop. Every look, every word, every slammed door. He had written to her tonight a message, not to beg, not to blame, just to say what had remained unspoken. Hey, Mia, I know it's late, or maybe early. I can't sleep. I just wanted to say, I'm sorry. Not for that night. Not only for that. For how I started shutting you out before it ever happened. For not noticing you were slipping away while I was too busy pretending we were fine. The words were still there, typed, glowing back at him from the screen. But he hadn't pressed send. The apartment still carried traces of her, the painting on the wall that she refused to let go of, the coffee mug with the chipped handle she insisted on using every morning. Her favorite blanket still hung over the couch, like a memory folded in cotton. He hadn't moved anything. He told himself it was because he didn't have time. But deep down, he knew it was because moving things would mean admitting she wasn't coming back. He swung his legs over the bed and padded barefoot into the kitchen. He poured a glass of water and leaned on the counter. The phone buzzed once, a random notification, not from her, never from her. He glanced at it again. The message still waited. Theirs had never been a love story of grand gestures. It was coffee, shared in the mornings, silent understanding in glances, fighting over which movie to watch. It was comfortable, worn in, real, and somehow it broke. He remembered the first time he saw her cry, not from pain, but from laughter. They were in a bookstore, of all places. She had found a misprinted cover that said The Art of Fart instead of The Art of War, and she laughed until she choked on her own breath. Strangers turned to stare. Sam had fallen a little in love right then and there. They had lived through messy apartments, lost jobs, broken down cars, but it was the silence that finally tore them apart, the kind that builds slowly, like dust in corners, until you realize it's suffocating you. He sat on the couch, pulling the blanket over his shoulders. He stared at the dark screen of his phone. Why now? He whispered to himself. Why does it still matter so much? Because some stories don't get closure. They just get quieter. But he wasn't ready to let it end that way. He thought about the small things, the time she made soup when he was sick, staying up all night to check his temperature, the silly dance they did every Sunday while cleaning the apartment, the way she used to hum under her breath when she read. He hadn't told her how much those things mattered, how much she mattered. Not enough, anyway. In the corner of the living room sat an old box of Polaroids they had taken during a road trip to the coast. He hadn't opened it in months. Tonight, he reached for it. Each photo was a memory. Mia laughing with a flower crown she made herself. Sam pretending to surf on a piece of driftwood. A blurry shot of them together, arm in arm, caught just before sunset. He smiled. Then his chest tightened. How had they gone from that to this? They had both stopped talking, avoided the hard conversations, let pride lead the way. And that night, the last night, it all exploded. She had said, "You don't even see me anymore." He had snapped back, "You're always looking for something to be upset about." Those words still hurt. Maybe they had both been wrong. Maybe they had both been right. But what mattered now was whether silence would win forever. He picked up the phone again, reread the message. He added a line. "I miss who we were before we got too tired to try. I still think about you every day." He hesitated, then typed more. "You once said all you wanted was to feel like I was present, really present. I didn't know how to give that then, but I see it now, and I'm sorry." Outside, the rain had started. Gentle taps against the window matched the rhythm of his heart. The room felt warmer now, not because of the blanket, but because he had finally allowed himself to feel again. To open the floodgate he had held shut out of fear, guilt, and stubbornness. He looked down at the message. It was longer now, raw, honest, real. His thumb hovered over send. Was it too late? He closed his eyes, saw her smile, heard her laugh again in the bookstore, remembered the look she gave him that morning when he made her coffee before she woke up. No words, just gratitude. He pressed send. The message disappeared into the void. He sat in silence for a while. No expectations, no false hope. Just stillness. When dawn broke, a sliver of sunlight crept through the blinds. His phone buzzed. One message from Mia. I was awake too, and I was waiting. His breath caught. He read it again and again. His fingers trembled slightly as he typed back. Can we talk? Not to fix everything, just to start again. The dots appeared almost instantly. She was typing. And in that moment, Sam realized that sometimes the words left unsaid carry the heaviest weight. But when finally spoken, they can change everything. Some stories don't end. They just pause until someone is brave enough to speak again. And tonight, he had been brave.